Yeah. Hello, everyone. You're welcome to our live broadcast today. This is Family Aspects. For those of you watching us for the first time, I want to encourage you to stay to the end of this broadcast and also to subscribe, subscribe, like it, like the video, and subscribe. Hit that thumb up video. Come on, let's do this. Let's go there. All right, so we are live right now, and what we are doing or learning about today is something very remarkable. Now, if you can hear me, I want you to hit the like button. I need to know that you can hear me. So I want you to hit the like button. Good. All right. Now, today, as you can see on the topic, we want to be talking about something very important. What ruined your marriage? Now, I have received series of letters, but I'm going to be reading these letters in different episodes. Okay? I have a letter that I'm going to read in a few minutes. On this letter is a kind of an experience that somebody had, and then he's telling his stories, what led to the end of his marriage. And there's so much we can learn from these stories of these people. And that's why I come up with this episode, this series of episodes that we're going to be talking about on Family Aspect channel. Now, before you get to receive all of this information that we have to share with you, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I want you to move to the next level with me, because we are about to learn something that can preserve our relationship and marriage for the rest of our life. And that is what we're here for. That is what we're all about. Good morning, Francis. You're welcome. I'm glad to see you joining us, Francis. Okay, now here is the firstly, let me give you like a little teaser. Okay, what you should be expecting in each episode of this series. Okay, first we are talking about, or we are going to be discussing on issues that led to the end of certain people's marriage, certain family, and the marriage ended. So remember this family aspect. So we have to go through every aspect of family that we can find. But first, we want to look at things that makes family end. Why do we have disoriented families? Why do we have disconnected families? Why do we have, I talked about previously on my video about absent father. Why do we have absent fathers? Why do we have absent mothers? Okay, all of this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, before I go into all of that in detail, there is a letter I will have to read. Now, here's what to expect. You are going to expect to see what different challenges that people face in their marriage, which they could not handle, which was beyond their capacity or beyond their ability at that time to deal with. And then they took decision to end the marriage. Now, that is not a good thing. Of course, we know nobody wants to have a broken home. Okay, that's why we're here. We don't want to have a broken home. We have a lot to share to avoid that. But in reality, we still have people going through that today, all around the world. So what are we talking about? Well, a lot of things we're going to be looking at. What led to this marriage? We're going to be looking at their stories, what they did, how far they went, what lengths they were able to get to, what advice they got, what step they took, until they couldn't take any further step. And then the relationship ended. So we want to look at those things in these letters, and then we will talk about it. Maybe one or two of you may have suggestions or opinion, or what you think may have been done, or what you think can be avoided in such situations, because these things are happening as we speak. And we want to use our channel as an opportunity to help reduce this chaos in families and homes. Now, without further ado, if you haven't subscribed, hey, come on, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't liked the video, I encourage you to like the video right now and share and share and share. Let's get more people onto it. This is a live stream. Here's the letter here. I actually got the letter. I printed it out from my email. Now, if you are there watching this video and is as though we're talking to you, or probably this video is directly talking to you, don't be how would I put it? Don't take it to heart. It's not that we are trying to come to your privacy and try to make you feel uncomfortable. No, we want to help people. We want to be able to help people to understand that whatever they are going through, there are a lot of people out there that are also going through them. And if they won, you can win. All right. First of all, we are looking at why people end their relationship. Why do they end their marriage? What is their reason? So I got some letters, and I'm still receiving some letters coming in from our Facebook and all of that. So we are getting people coming in and telling us what they felt and how, writing to us. Okay. If you have your own story and you want to write to us, come on, don't hesitate to write to us. All right. Contact us directly, and then I'll put a link of my email address that you can reach me on, or you can reach me directly on YouTube. Just write directly to me. I'll get it. Okay. Whichever way you want to contact me, just let me know. And then we'll get your letter. We'll talk about it, but we will put you anonymous. Okay. Your name will not be mentioned. I've always tell my anyone that write to me, I keep your name and your personal detail confidential. So your name will not be mentioned. Your family name will not be mentioned, but we'll talk about the story. All right. And then we'll see how we can analyze the story and correct some things, and also learn from what you have done or what actions you took. So that's what we're here for. Now, without further ado, let's go to this letter and read what we've got here. Okay. All right. Now, like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed, because there's more. This is just the beginning of the episode. There's more to come. All right. So I want you to know there's more to come. So you have to get yourself ready for more to come. All right, let's go. Now, this is a letter from a man. I received this letter from a man, and I'm not biased because I'm a man. No, it's not about being a man. It's the story that matters. Okay. But this happened. This was the experience of this man. Okay. And I want to read. That means he's a husband, or he was a husband. Okay. Now I read. It says, for me, what ruined my marriage was a combination of two things: constant verbal and emotional abuse directed at me from my wife. I want you to mark that. I'm going to read the whole letter first, and then we'll analyze things. Number two, my own lack of realization that abuse was happening. I blame myself for all of my wife's outbursts and silent treatment that could last for weeks while I was tutoring myself, wondering. I mean, say he was torturing himself, actually, because the spelling there. He say he was torturing himself, wondering what I had done wrong this time. And my weakness is not confronting my wife. I was afraid of getting angry at her, and I'm still terrified of her. Wow. But there was one day when suddenly everything clicked into place. I realized I was afraid to come home after work. Oh my God. Did you hear that? And why I had felt so powerless and meaningless. It is the day she started using I want you to see what he said here. He said, but there was one day when suddenly everything clicked into place. I realized That day he's talking about. He said, I realized I was afraid to come home after work, and why I had felt so powerless and meaningless. Now, he's talking about that day now. It is the day she started using our 3-year-old son against me. Oh dear. Teaching him to say, Papa is a mean bastard. Wow. Inexplicably accusing me of having an affair at the dinner table. That's what it means. At a dinner table. It says, then explaining to our son that Papa was living with his girlfriend and will never come back. Can you imagine that? Wow, that's terrible. If that happens, sorry, man. If that happens, that's really terrible. I mean, that's terrible. Which, of course, made him burst into tears. Now, the young boy, 3-year-old, started crying and stealing his toys. Look at that. And she is stealing his toys at bath time to make him cry. Then looking at me victoriously saying, ha ha. What? The feeling of powerlessness and incredulity is indescribable. But thanks to that, I finally saw through everything. I started keeping notes of all the abuse lobbed at me. Filling 6 pages in a couple of days. Can you imagine? I saw a therapist. I want you to see. He went to see a therapist. Where's my pen? He went to see a therapist. He said, I went to see a therapist. Who confirmed the abuse. I explained to her I wanted to get some time away from work. From her. She then threatened to commit. Now, he told the wife that he's going to get a time off. He's going to get a time off from her. And she started threatening him to commit suicide 3 times in the following conversation. So she threatened to commit suicide 3 times. When the husband said, I'm leaving you. I'm tired of this abuse. I'm tired of these things you're doing. And she threatened to take her life, to commit suicide 3 times. Then he said, she threatened to commit suicide 3 times in the following conversation. I convinced her to go and see my therapist. In exchange, I went to see her fortune teller. Okay, look at this. The wife was visiting fortune teller. Rather, the man was visiting a therapist. Now, you can see where the trouble is coming from. She was connected to a fortune teller, a spiritualist. Or what do you call it? A spiritist. All these spiritists, all these people that talk about destiny and future of people. They are not real. I'm not being biased. I think those people are not real. I feel they are not real because I know they are not real. Look at this. I went to see her fortune teller, which is, of course, weird. Yes, it's weird. It's terrible. Although that fortune teller, in the end, also recommended I divorce her. I managed to make her go to a couple of counseling sessions. Oh, this man did some work. Well done. Well done. He says, I managed to make her go for a couple of counseling sections. But she will not participate once there. She will not participate. Now, this is a story that happens to a certain marriage, a certain couple. And this story, what I'm reading now, led to the end of their marriage. That's what we're talking about now. What ruined your marriage? What ruined it? And this man is telling us what ruined his marriage. I continue reading. And then I just initiated the divorce. So he said he initiated the divorce. That means he had to consult his lawyer and then initiated the divorce. I didn't think I had done all I could to save the marriage, but I was at the end of my rope. Emotionally, I just couldn't take it anymore. I just had to leave. I feel guilty about this, but a great many other things, including not noticing the abuse sooner and being so incredibly weak. Oh dear. I wonder what you mean when you say you were incredibly weak. Weak about what? Anyway, let's look at this. Now, that is the letter I just read to you concerning a certain family who ended their marriage with 3-year-old child. So, in other words, their marriage lasted for approximately 3 years. Okay? But within that 3 years, he had constant verbal and emotional abuse from the wife, which obviously he says he didn't notice that these things were happening, and it tends to happen more, that she was really into it. Now look at it. It says, my lack of realization that the abuse was happening. So he didn't realize that the abuse was happening. He said he blamed himself for not noticing. So the woman was outburst and silent treatment. So what does that mean? So there will be a day, several days, a week as a husband and wife, they will not talk to each other. Malice, silent treatment, no conversation, no communication. How could a husband and wife be together without talking? Of course, there's already an issue here. The woman, according to this story, the woman was verbal and emotionally abusive. So emotionally abusive, I will connect that to silent treatment. In other words, the woman can just stay without talking to the husband for a long time, without even communicating or having anything to do with him for a long time. And the man is worried what's going on. And they are living in the same house. They have a 3-year-old. And then he said he was weak to respond. He was weak to react. He was weak to confront her. Now, here's my point. First, no marriage should accommodate any form of abuse, whether the abuse is coming from the man or the abuse is coming from the woman. As soon as you notice, now, first of all, you need to understand all types of different abuses. You need to understand different forms of abuses. Because there are abuses that will come from men that you may never thought they are abuses. And there are abuses that will come from a woman that you may never thought that is abuses. But no form of any abuse should be tolerated, accepted, or considered. Allowed to linger for a long time like this one did. Why are there abuses in marriage? Of course, there are a lot of abuses. It's basically my opinion about that is this. Abuse happens when the purpose of a thing is not known. When a husband does not understand the purpose of the wife, what will happen is that the man, the husband, will abuse the wife. Abuse is defined as the abnormal use of a thing. The abnormal use of a thing. So when you abuse your wife or you abuse your husband, it's because you don't know the actual use, the purpose of your husband. You don't know the purpose of your wife. The same applies to children. When children are being abused, it's obvious that the parents don't understand the purpose of children. So here is exactly where this couple got it wrong. They didn't understand the purpose, or the wife didn't understand the purpose of having a husband. Now you say, is that necessary? Well, everything exists for a reason. That's why it's necessary. Our life starts with purpose and ends with purpose. Every relationship has a purpose. To have children You have to have a purpose. Now, here is it. The abuse, the emotional abuse, the verbal abuse was all cursed by lack of understanding of who they are dealing with, or they do not have a comprehensive purpose of their husband or wife. So according to this letter, I would directly say to this man that, you know what, your wife didn't have an understanding of who you really are as a husband. You see, sometimes when they don't, we have the responsibility as men to explain to them who our responsibility, if we know, because most men may not know their purpose as a husband. And that's another thing. Okay, now look at that. Silent treatment, malice. It should never be considered in marriage. It breaks marriage. It destroys. Lack of communication there is. That's the way to put it. And we have been on this channel, we talk about effective communication and how important it is to have communication. Sometimes I'm calling my wife and she's not picking the call. I'm concerned. I want her to pick because I don't know what's going on. In most cases, I'm like, where is she? Because I want to talk to her, whether she's at work, whether she's at home. I want to talk to her at will. So if I can't get through, I send a message. If I can't send a message, I want her to pick right now. Communication. What about when she's at home? We talk all the time, all through. We have something to share. There must be something to talk about. But not to have that in a marriage will destroy it quickly. You see now? So if you are going through your relationship right now and you have not worked on the side of communication and effective communication in your marriage, please do. Start working on your communication. Increase. Have something to talk about. Don't allow any silence in your marriage, because you can see that silent treatment just led this marriage to a church or got flushed to the toilet. It's a pity. I know it hurts, but this is not supposed to be, because you can see that the guy tried to make things right. He went to counseling. Another thing here that got my attention is, why would this woman begin to instigate the little boy against the man? Why? Why would the woman do such a thing? An innocent 3-year-old. And then he started instigating the 3-year-old against the man, against his own father. I know there are many women that does that, but not all. Very few women that are free from this, especially when there are already confusion, disagreement within the husband and wife. They start turning their children against the man. And it's wrong. Now, he noticed this. It is when he noticed it that he realized these things have really gone that bad. But this has been going on without him knowing. Then by the time he realized, look at that, she was teaching the child to say, he was telling the child, Papa is a mean bastard. Can you imagine? 3-year-old, you are already telling the child to learn to say bastard. A 3-year-old? Why would a woman, a mother, think of instigating her own child against their own biological father or mother, or whatever the situation may be? And to be sowing seed of evil, bad words, negative thinking in a child that is just 3 years old is mean. I don't think that's normal. Obviously, you can see they have lack of spiritual guidance. Again, this is another problem. Lack of spiritual guidance, because one of them went to fortune teller, the other one went to what do you call it, a therapist, and both come to a conclusion. You know what? Both of you should leave each other. You are not meant to be. And obviously, that's exactly what the aim of the destroyer in a family wants to get. You see, that's just like the devil in a family. He wants to end the whole thing and make everyone miserable. But you don't want to allow that, because you see, these guys lack spiritual guidance. They were not having spiritual guidance. And because they lack spiritual guidance or the right principle to follow, they messed up with it. They couldn't further. Look at it. The guy said, I couldn't just take it any longer. I couldn't just take it any longer. He said something here very remarkable. He said, I don't think I have done all I could to save the marriage. You see, that's right. That's right. But he said, I was at the end of my rope. That means he couldn't take it. He tried. Yeah, I know you did. And there are many families like that today who will say, I tried my best, but I just couldn't take it any longer. But I believe with this man's story, there's so much to learn. The first is, don't allow any form of abuse. If you notice you are dating a man, before you even get married to a man or woman, you should be able to sense that this man or woman will be abusive one way or the other. Either verbally, they may not hit you on the go while you are dating, but check their words. Check their words. See how they respond. You see how they talk. Well, I think we've come to the end of this episode. And now, if you have any question, any suggestions on this, don't hesitate to leave it on the comment section. And I want you to go over to this video again and learn. And if you have any question, please ask. If you want to you want to be on our next episode, you want to be our guest, don't hesitate to contact us. I would like to show you as our guest on our next episode, because we are going to be coming up with another letter, and then we will analyze that letter and see what went wrong. Why did the marriage crash? And we can learn. We can learn. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. And those of you that will still watch this video after the live stream, I will leave it on our channel. You'll be able to watch it after the live stream. And I want you to expect the next episode tomorrow. We're going to be coming in for the next episode. So follow this series. It's going to be a long one, I know, but we have several letters. So it's good for us to be informed about what makes people. Sometimes we just assume that it is the same problem that makes people end their marriage. No, there are different kinds of issues that people are going through. And we want to look at those issues and then be able to protect ourselves against them. You see, we don't want to be ignorant of these things. We want to be sure that these things are existing. And then when they try to come to us or happen in our family, we put a stop to it, because we know it happened and it led to the end of a marriage. So we don't want that to happen to us. So we'll put a stop to it. That's why we're doing these episodes, this series of what's ruined your marriage. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And also, Francis, thank you for being part of our live stream. I appreciate every one of you. And if you haven't shared this video, I will encourage you to share, and also like it. And we will see you in our next episode. Watch out for episode 2. Until then, stay blessed in your marriage. Bye for now.